Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to talk about 5 reasons why I love being a rocket engineer. So the first big thing is that it's fulfilling a childhood dream. I always really wanted to do something with space, and I remember being in 2nd grade and just not getting enough information. It was like the first real topic that I had an interest learning. I grew up in an Indian family, and my parents wanted me to get really good at science and math. It was all really boring because there wasn't really a big picture at the end of it. I was just kind of like, why am I learning all this? So when I discovered all these books in the library about space, I just sat there and read through, and it just wasn't enough. So from that, I wanted to be an astronaut. I wanted to work on rockets and spacecraft, and I was thinking about like going to the stars. I had my Star Wars kick, and I watched Star Trek. I was such a nerd. And NASA ended up being a big goal of mine. I had a lot of things I wanted to achieve, but ultimately I wanted to be in the space industry. So being here now, it feels pretty dang good looking back and thinking, oh yeah, that kid is now officially working on rockets. That feels so good to say. Now the second thing, I'd be lying if I wasn't talking about the money. Part of it is the pay. It pays pretty well. And the industry right now has a tremendous amount of cash flow going through it because everyone wants to go to space. There's a ton of investment going into it, right? Like it's just such an important, integral part of our infrastructure now. GPS, cell phones, soon to be internet. And then you got the defense side of things, the surveillance side of things. You also have the science side of things and orbiters and weather satellites. Ultimately, the point I'm making here is that this is the industry to be in right now. Every company is becoming a space company. Every nation's becoming a spacefaring nation. Everyone wants to launch a satellite or an orbiter, and they want to do something that sets them ahead of the other companies that they're competing with. Case in point right now, we have Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk battling it out to develop a constellation that provides internet to the world. So you've got SpaceX's Starlink and Amazon's Project Kuiper, and that's just the beginning of people competing to get into space at the moment. Now the third thing is the growth potential. I mean, there is so much knowledge transfer that comes from collaborating. It's such a collaborative process. Everyone works together. Everyone has to interface with one another to develop this high quality product at the end. And there's no room for error. It has to be airtight. So there's so much growth that happens as a result of it. And you find more efficient ways to do things. And there's always going to be new discoveries. One thing that's kind of neat with the new upcoming launches that are going to space, historically spacecraft used kerosene as their propellant. Now a lot of engines are moving towards using liquid methane because it's more efficient, and it's been studied for a while. So that's pretty exciting. And with that, seeing the final result, that's such a neat thing. I've worked jobs in the past where the end result is something that you'll just never see. I used to work in the defense industry, and I just had no concept of where the things I was working on were going. One of my favorite parts now is during a launch, you get to see everyone sign off on their systems as we approach the terminal count. So before an actual launch, you see everyone in the control room, studying the rocket, studying its behavior, studying everything that happened to get that rocket to that point. It's so cool. And then the last thing is that it feels larger than life. This is a big deal for me. A lot of life can feel monotonous and boring, and I've been at jobs where it's felt like it's not really building up to much. Like, yeah, I'm working on this thing, but I don't see the thing at the end of the day, and it doesn't feel like it's doing something of epic proportions or anything like that. Now, some people may find satisfaction from things like that. For me, it was that I had these dramatic notions of what I wanted to do for the world and what I was capable of doing. So this is kind of a way for me to jump into that. Now, I'm not saying there aren't boring days at work. There absolutely are. You still end up working on a computer at your desk at work, but there's a larger than life feel to know that the end goal is really big. And honestly, it's so much fun being able to talk to other people about what I do. Not to keep comparing with my older jobs, but I used to not be able to tell people what I did because it was so restrictive and there wasn't as much passion that went into it. So now one of my favorite things to do is just sit down, explain to anyone who's interested how a rocket works top to bottom. So that's a pretty good feeling. That's it for this video, guys. Pretty quick. Just wanted to talk about why I love being a rocket engineer. It's a great industry to be in. It's a great field to be in. And there's so much to learn from it. So we'll keep shooting for the stars, and I will see you guys in the next video. Hey y'all, I just wanted to give y'all a quick update on the future of the channel as we move forward. So I want to shoot for 2 videos a month, and I want to do it in such a way where one video is going to be rather informative and technical, and then the other video each month is going to be more storytelling and philosophical. So, hoping to keep the release train coming, and you know, that's not to say some months there won't be more, but the idea is that that's what I want to target. So, yeah. Thank you all for your continued support, and I hope you all are getting as much out of these videos as I am making them. So, have a good one.